Do you feel that? It's warm outside. That means it's running season. Let's not have our knees hurt again this year, huh? Pay attention. I'm Dr. Sean Pastuch, and for 20 years I've been a chiropractor and a personal trainer helping people get out of pain without going to another doctor's office or giving up their active life. The stuff I'm gonna teach you in this video has been tested and proven with real people in real life throughout my career. Today I'm gonna give you one assessment, 5 benchmark exercises, and a program to make sure that when you get into running, you do it without experiencing the knee pain that's always been nagging you. The first thing we're gonna do is the assessment. These are called depth drops. You're gonna do them on 2 legs and on 1 leg. The idea of a depth drop is it's going to simulate what it's like when you're actually running, when your foot is striking the ground. If you struggle to do this on 2 feet or on 1 foot and land with control, that's the first sign that you might struggle to run without knee pain. The second thing that we're looking for is a little bit less obvious, but it's still fairly clear. Are your knees diving in when you do this? So on 2 legs, when you land, are your knees or knee, one or the other or both, diving towards the middle? If they are, that's a sign that you might have some weakness up or down the kinetic chain, most likely up by the hip, that is going to lead you to compensating in a way that you don't want, that puts extra stress on the lateral meniscus, not that you're gonna have a test later, but that's the side of the meniscus, and the medial ligaments of the knee, as well as the soft tissues, because it's not meant to go into that position. If you're feeling it on 2 legs or seeing it on 2 legs, that's a big sign that there's an issue that we need to work through before we really start going for run volume. If you're seeing it on 1 leg, it's an indication that you're just missing what you need to have in the same place, right? So still in the hip, most likely. The strength, the motor control, whatever ends up coming up on further assessment, to safely run without the risk of experiencing knee pain throughout the season. So, knees don't clap. Hands clap, knees don't. I can make your hands clap. If your knees are landing straight and you have control, you've cleared the first thing. And look, I'm not making any of this stuff up. There's a study that can show you. I know there's some people out there who are like, they need the study. I want to see the research. There's the research. Click the study. It shows that people whose knees dive in on this test are going to be more likely to have pain when they run. Just like a really smart guy said, like what, 30 seconds a minute ago? Trust me, I'm a doctor. Next, we're gonna go through the 5 benchmark exercises that also kind of function like tests, but they're benchmark exercises because if you find yourself unable to do them, the solution is doing them more often and then you're able to go running without the risk. When you go running, the forces that come through your leg, what that means is like when you land your foot on the ground, it's 3x your body weight. It's not just your body weight because you're coming down at a speed and you're gonna feel 3 times the weight that you actually have every time you take a step. That's like strapping a luxury refrigerator to your back and going for a walk. That's the kind of force that your knees and your legs are going to have to take. It shouldn't be surprising that if you take every step wrong, or if you use the wrong muscles to do this, you're going to experience pain. The first exercise I want you to make sure that you're able to do is 20 calf raises on a single leg. And you should be able to do it on both, by the way. Achilles injuries and knee pain don't actually come out of nowhere. They're fairly predictable. You're going to take thousands of steps on a run. You should be able to do 20 calf raises on each side. You can use a box, a railing, a wall, a pole, whatever you need to create the stability so that this doesn't become a balance test. What we're measuring is your ability to produce the force through the calf 20 times without stopping on each leg. If you can do that, you've cleared the first exercise. If you can't, you need more calf raises to get stronger at calf raises so that your likelihood of getting an injury when you run is less. The second exercise, which is a progression of the first, is you should be able to hop on 1 foot on both sides for 30 seconds consecutively. That just means get on 1 foot like a child and hop up and down for 30 seconds straight. I'm not measuring how many you do, how high you jump, 30 seconds. Keep it simple. Can you do that or can you not do that? If you cannot do that, as you start to fatigue, your form is going to break down when you're running, and that's when kaput happens. Is kaput a Long Island Jew thing, or have you heard of it too? By the way, I'm the Jew. I'm not, like, it's not a, you know, you get it. I'm the Jew. Talking about myself, my family, and my grandma, hi, I'm famous, I'm on YouTube. She's dead, she's not gonna see this.
You'll never call me.
She's dead. There's no reason, she's dead, I can't call her.
Oy vey, the excuses.
Next exercise, 15 single leg squats to a bench. What that means is set up a bench, like this, right behind you so that you don't fall if this gets messed up. And I want you to squat down on a single leg, touch it. If you need to sit, you can sit, and then stand back up on that same single leg. You should be able to do 15 of these. Now, there might be some, that's not fair, Sean, I'm tall. That person in the video looks like they're short. The bench is gonna come lower on me. Fine. The bench is there to indicate squatting down about a quarter to a third of the way. Set up something that's a quarter to a third of the way and squat down to that instead. You win. But you need to be able to do 15 reps. No wavering on that. Exercise number 4. You gotta be able to do 20 single leg glute bridges. They're pretty simple to do, there's not much explanation. Just make sure that your foot is underneath your knee and then press up. That's it. Keep your other foot off of the ground. I don't really care where your hands go. You can put them on your belly, you can put them on the floor. You're not gonna be able to cheat enough by putting your hands on the floor. Don't listen to people who tell you that that's cheating. Just, can you get 20 reps on each side or not? If you can't, work on that before you go for long runs. The 5th and final exercise is what we call a Copenhagen plank. I don't know why I said we call it that, because it's called that. It's a Copenhagen plank. You can do it on your hand if you have the strength and the wrist flexibility and all of that. But if you can't do it on your hand, you can drop to an elbow. Just make sure that you create a platform that simulates the height of your forearm so that you're not just now leaning all the way down at a, you know, you can picture the angle. I want you to be flat and across. You gotta be able to hold this for at least 15 seconds. If you can't hold this for 15 seconds, when you start to fatigue or when you even land on a single leg, there's no saying that you're gonna be able to control it. For those of you who wanna be able to run big weeks, like we're talking 20, 30, 50 miles. I know there's some, I was gonna say an F word. There's some crazy people out there who run 50 miles in a week.
I just felt like running.
If you're looking to be in the upper level of running where we're really topping over 15 to 20 miles a week, I want you to aim for 60 seconds, not 15. And finally, let's science out on some programming.
Yes, science!
This is the hardest part for me too. So if you're watching this and you're like, how am I gonna keep tabs on that math? Take a photo at the end of this video. You'll see the program all built out on the side. That's what we have an editor for. He's right there. You can't see him, I can. He's gonna put a graphic up on the screen. And you're gonna be able to take a screenshot, and everyone's gonna win. It's gonna be great. So pay attention, and then when you get to the end of this, take a screenshot. We're gonna do this assuming that you have not been running at all. If you have been running, just insert your numbers in differently. I'm gonna walk you through this slowly and simply. Let's pretend, for easy math's sake, because we're gonna do easy math, that you were running 10 miles a week 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks ago you were running 10 miles and then your knees started to bother you and you've been resting and it's starting to feel better, so you're gonna get back into it. That's our number, it's 10. For those of you who have not been running at all, let's pretend that your goal is 10 miles. If you haven't been doing it at all, I want you to start with no more than 10% of the goal for the week. That's where you're gonna start. All the progressions after this, you're gonna do exactly the same way, the same percentages as the group I'm gonna be talking to. That's the group who was running and stopped because of injury, and now they're getting back into it. Over the last 4 weeks, you went 10 miles, 10 miles, then you got hurt, 0 miles, 0 miles. Now you feel better. So over the last 4 weeks, you've run 20 total miles, where if you hadn't have gotten hurt, you would have run 40. You follow me so far? If you don't, the rest of this is going to be over your head and you need a math tutor. What we're going to do is establish what's called a chronic workload. A chronic workload is an indication of how much work you've done on average over the last 4 weeks. That's all we're looking to establish. So if you ran 20 miles over 4 weeks, we take that 20 and we divide it by 4, we're left with 5 miles. This week, you feel good, you're going to run 5 miles. No more. You can run less, but then your progressions start from there. 5 miles is the top of what you're going to run. What we're going to do is spend this week running 5 miles. And then if there was no discomfort, no setbacks, next week we can progress by 20%. So 20% added to 5 miles is 1 more mile. That means next week you can run 6. Remember, that is no setbacks. If you had setbacks, you had discomfort, we're gonna scale back from the 5 to half of it. We're gonna go down to 2.5, unless you felt it on your first run, in which case you're just not ready yet, and that's okay too. But assuming you had no pain and you ran 5 miles this week, next week you can run 6. Next week is over. You ran 6 miles, no pain, no setbacks. Outstanding. You can progress again by 20%. So 20% added to 6. So next week, you get to run 7.2 miles. You might be thinking to yourself, am I really gonna be that specific? Yeah, you fucking are, okay? And if you don't wanna be, just run 7, but you don't get to run 7.5. So it's up to you, because you're making the progressions. Do you wanna get to your thing faster, or do you wanna get to your thing slower and save yourself the math? That's totally up to you, I don't really care. But let's say you did 7.2 because you're gonna follow my progression here. You can add, you guessed it, 20% again. That's 8.64 miles. Fine, you can have the rounding error on this one and just run 8.5. All right, it's yours, you win. Guess what? No pain with that? Next week, you get to run 20% more. What's 8.5 times 1.2? It's that number right there. I'm not a fucking calculator. You expect me to know this stuff? That's why I have an editor. He's putting it on the screen for you. 10.3, you're there. 5 weeks. You're back to everything you were doing before in 5 weeks. When your alternative is to not use tried and tested methods that are empirically supported and studied and proven, and hurt yourself again. And then be doing this again 5 weeks from now. And saying, I wish I did that last time when I watched that really smart, handsome guy's video. Why don't you just do it this time? So remember, you're here because your knee hurts when you run, or your knee has hurt when you run, or you don't want your knee to hurt when you run, no matter what it is.
Ow! My leg!
We're gonna recap all the things we just went over. Number 1, you're gonna do this single assessment that we gave you, the depth drop. Are you able to do it on 2 legs? Are you able to do it on each leg individually? Pass or fail. Second, you're gonna go through the 5 exercises. Bing, bang, boom, bop, beep. The next thing you're going to do is follow our progression. That's the last thing that there is. It's right there, it's easy for you, take a screenshot, do the percentages. I'm Dr. Sean Pastuch, reminding you that if you like this content, like, subscribe, and even share it with a friend. Remember, my friends, pain is a choice. Let's choose not to have it.